I remember the Lord telling me that today you will meet your husband in a blue car. And I was like, wow, I think this husband thing is too much in my head, to the point that I'm now hearing voices. And so I just said to myself, I hope it's a blue Mercedes or a blue Range Rover. So we got to Githurai, I preached, I finished, and when we were going back home, the pastor escorted us. Of course, I never used to ask for money at all, give me money because I've paid, no. And so we didn't have money to go back, so I told my auntie, the God who has brought us here will take us back. Let us ask for lift. Whoever stops, even though they are devil worshipper, I will preach to the point they'll get saved, because at that time was freshly saved. It was the year 2003, so 3 years after I got saved. So I am there, we were trying to stop cars, and the car that stopped was a blue one. But it was not a Mercedes, it was not a Range Rover, it was a Mini. You know, the old Mini. It didn't even have 6 numbers on the plate. It was KNK 70?
62.
62, KNK 62. And so there's a lady sitting behind, a Muslim lady with a child. She was wearing bibui, and then Rommie was sitting in front. And so the lady behind told us that if you want us to give you ride to Nairobi town, you have to pay us money. So me, I didn't have. The pastor paid for us and gave us some extra change from South B. We were living in South B. And we told them, sir, then you will have to take us to the South B matatus. And they were like, sir. That time in the evening, you know, when the strikers pulled down, so some matatus were operational. Now my auntie sat behind and I sat in front. And while we were going, the Lord is telling me, this is your husband. And I'm like, how? But God, I told you I want to get married to a born-again Christian. And clearly you can see that, first of all, this is the wife sitting behind with the child. And the Lord tells me, ask him. So I'm like, where do I start? So I just introduced myself. My name is Satvinder. This is my aunt. She's called Han. And so the lady behind said, oh, my name is Zena. And this is my nephew, and he's called Rommie. And the Lord is like, I told you that's not the wife. Second question, God, I told you I want a born-again Christian. If the lady is wearing a bibui and this is the nephew, this guy is a Muslim. I want to get married to a born-again Christian. And the Lord is like, he's not a Muslim. Ask. So I went again, I asked again, and I told them that, oh, Zena, pleasure to meet you, Rommie. Actually, I'm an evangelist, a Christian evangelist. And so Zena told me, oh, that's really surprising, because I'm a Muslim, but my nephew is a Christian. And I was like, where do you fellowship, Sitam? And the Lord is like, I told you. So at that point, I was like, no, God, in my heart, I'm asking myself, fine, he could be my husband. Because I told God to choose for me. I told God, choose for me. I don't want to choose for myself. Choose for me, so when I have trouble, I'll come back to you. So I remember I told God, now how are we meeting from here? Because they're dropping us at South B. So the Lord whispers to me, tell them what you do. At that time, we were going through a lot of poverty. Because when we got born again, it's like the Indian gods came to take all their money. We were back to zero. So I was making soap and I was selling soap. And so I told the lady, I told her, his auntie, that I make soap for a living. What do you do? She said, I'm in the same industry. Let's exchange numbers. That's how we exchanged numbers. And that's how I alighted in town with my auntie. And from there, he can now tell us what they were discussing in the car.